Hello, this is Gene Lisa speaking. I'm one of the Swiftspace specialists. Today we're going to take a tour of the Swiftspace neighborhood at the GSA Innovation Lab, which is at their headquarters in Washington, D.C. There are 5 neighborhoods here, and as we can see from GSA's slide, it's 25,000 square feet for innovation. Well, what makes us special? All of this furniture arrived, and in 2 hours it was brought up, stripped, and staged. The fellas went to lunch. There were 6. And when they came back, they began the installation. Everything was installed in 2.5 hours. How is that possible? Because everything arrives fully assembled. There's no parts, no pieces, no tools. We're going to take a view now, and I'll describe some of the things we're seeing. The unit on the right that's flipped, that is our shape product. Here, we're looking at our fused. This is one of our dose products. And now we're looking at a 120-degree reception station of Solo, one of the first products we began with 12 years ago. To the left of the red chairs, we have another Solo product, 66 inches tall. And now we'll segue over to the Shape product once again, one of 5 height-adjustable systems. Another look at Solo product in a 52-inch height. Everything with Swiftspace is mobile, including our tower units. Our work surfaces are available with cockpits or straight cuts. We'll take a look now at our flip product. And you'll see why in a moment we call it flip. Here we see it in an upright position. And we'll segue in just a moment and you'll see it in a table position. But before that, we'll get another look at one of our workstations called Shift. Shift is a height adjustable product. It's meant to be used as an L shape or even a U shape. Here we see that flip unit as the table. As we continue the tour through the lab, we see a combination of mobile panels. Notice that green panel on the lateral file, that raises and lowers. Here we see Ensemble. Ensemble is our latest product. Wonderful usage in collaboration or hospitality centers, visual AV centers. We have multiple places for people to meet. Here we see our bench product, not benching system, but a bench. Coming around the corner, we're back to a Solo product, and this is a 10 by 12 private office with a door. Later on, we'll see a video of how this gets installed. We just passed a dose unit with doors and exhaust fans, and now we're coming through another cluster of Shift. We'll take a look here at Fused. Notice the cabinet. It's part of the product. Notice the pedestal. It's part of the product. That's why we call it Fused. And Fused can be used with other products. Here we see it with our panels. Here it's collapsed. And in the rear we have one of our fused elements. And in the front we have a Shift. And we see how that turns into joining 2 pieces together into a totally new product. Shape, again, one of 5 of our height adjustable systems. On the left we see a single table, and on the right we see an L shape. A single table can become an L-shaped table. A look at how everything arrives with all the parts and pieces attached. Let's take a look and see how our product works. So here we have the Shift product, and we'll have 8 of them. They roll in folded. Why folded? Well, it has to get through a doorway. Every Swiftspace product is engineered to go through a standard doorway, even an 8 by 8 workstation. The surfaces also are flipped because they can become writing boards. We'll see the first of several collaborations. Here in the same geography, we see the workstation surfaces raise, tilt forward, the privacy panels removed. And now we will segue into an additional example of collaboration, partial privacy, partial collaboration. But the people on the right, they need more meeting space. So we flip the tops, roll in the panels, and in the space you already own, you have your meeting. Here we see all of the surfaces, all of the tables reconfigured. Now if we blend this with our Foresight table, we're going to create probably the most sophisticated architectural engineering design station. Here we see 6 monitors. We can work either front to back or in an L shape. The surfaces again will flip into a marker board. We'll arrange into a charrette. After the charrette, we will rearrange in less time than it takes to go to the restroom into individual L-shaped workstations. Should we need to move, surfaces flip, products move, and have another function. Solo is where we started 12 years ago. It's still the workhorse of our product line. It's an aluminum framed family of products. Swiftspace is split between aluminum frame and laminate. Here we're going to focus on the drop-down panel. That's the translucent panel we see on the right. When this surface flips, we're able to totally collapse the station. And here we see how that unit so easily can transform from seated to collaborative. Coming back into the lab, what I want you to focus on is the workstation itself, which is 6 by 6, but it looks larger than that. How's that possible? It's been accomplished by slip matching. It didn't cost any more money to do that. How does a typical Swiftspace product install? Well, everything arrives fully assembled, and here, like an army of ants on a picnic table on the 4th of July, these workstations roll in. And we'll see in just a moment, here's that moment, how these will go together in under 30 seconds. The surfaces in the middle are held by a common cantilever bracket. The surfaces latch together, and a very large magnet holds up the end gables. They will pop down, and they will engage the panels with a spring plunger clip. You achieve a true 90-degree configuration. We have a complete system for power and data. And here we see the power in feed. It goes into the duplex outlet, continues with a jumper to the next workstation. It's held in this raceway, the top part for power, the bottom for data. We see here a raceway cover, a caster cover. We have several ways of making a mobile station immobile. This is the second way of doing it. And on the table legs, here is a way of securing it so that the user cannot move the furniture. Facilities can, however. We'll take a look at how the Solo product works in a space. Arriving fully assembled, you can lay it out in rectilineal, sawtooth. Notice that the mobile towers nest in literally free space. When we do morph this, you don't go through this accordion effect. You would merely just pull out a workstation, quarter turn it as we're doing here, and create a collaborative effect. We see again an example of the slip matching. To have collaboration, another way of doing it is dropping the panels for 2 or 4 people to work together. We'll cluster everyone, and then if we need to have a meeting, all of these panels can drop down. If we want to create a mid-management station, very simple, remove one station, roll in a panel. Have a new need, change it. Now what makes this happen is the caster. Now the young lady is rolling half of a 10 by 12 private office, and here we have a gentleman doing the other half, but we're going from a truck to a loading dock to dock plates. And we'll see a brief edited install of this workstation. No parts, no pieces, no tools. Each half will roll in, straighten out. The surfaces, which are integrated to the panels, are raised and assembled. The stations will connect with the same hardware that we used to drop down the panel on the 66-inch high surface and on the 52-inch high surface, only you'll see it on the side. That'll come up in just a moment. Coming back to shift, I want you to focus on the caster covers, giving a level to the floor look, upper cabinets, marker boards, mobile pedestals. We'll now see Ben install that in under 30 seconds. Rolls in fully assembled. There's two things Ben is not going to do on this install. He's not going to lock the caster or put in the caster cover. What he's doing now is removing the locking bar that's only used in transit. The two work surfaces assemble, in this case, with a thumb screw. You could use a regular screw should you wish, but that's all that it takes to have a height adjustable workstation installed in under 30 minutes. Now, what can you do if you just have one? Well, here we're going to see an example of the multiple ways that one workstation can reconfigure in your space. Again, no parts, no pieces, no tools, no professional outside labor. These units can be desk height only. They can be 66 inches tall. They can have upper cabinets. They can have flanking panels. Everything that you would expect in a full-blown panel system is available to be achieved with the Shift product. By adding two panels, one 36 inches, one 72, you have literally unlimited configurability. Now we'll look at a little bit of a twist. This is going to look very similar, but it's radically different. We start with the shape, and now we add surround panels. A single surface can be made into a dual surface. Adding the surround panels, it can be used in a private office. We can add acoustic panels for open plan. Create a network of privacy with the surround panels. Now nest all of that into the surround panels and you've created a system. Or detract pieces and you go all the way down to just collaboration. It allows you to morph from a private office to a workstation back to a private office. In fact, here we see it and it looks just like a, quote, system, but it's not. Here we see it in a private office as an executive U-shape with height adjustable panels. Now let's see how this magic works. There's a clock on the upper left. In 16 seconds, she's finished. The gentlemen come in and they will assemble the panels. Now for this, you do need a tool. You need an Allen key and it will join the panels together. You can also lock the tables to the panels. This video has been edited. It has an 8-minute cycle. And what you would see after this, she's raising that without benefiting any cords or cables because we have a battery pack that does that, would be taking the system down, putting it back together, taking the system down, putting it back together, taking the system down, putting it back together, and ultimately, we'll see here 5 minutes and 21 seconds into the experience, we're going to do a different layout. We're going to do a sawtooth. And again, this change is done with no additional parts and pieces from the original layout that we started with. Total flexibility. All right, let's take a look at some places to meet. We have the dose family. Dose family consists of privacy booths. Here we see them in a variety of heights. You can add the dome. You can add the panel extenders. Single booths with or without the domes. A bench. Now here we see it open on both sides. Here we see one side closed in with a markable panel. Graduating into the Dose Plus, 77 inches tall, does not conflict with sprinkler systems. It's available as single units or double units. Comes in fully assembled. About 60 seconds to remove the cardboard, rolls in, plugs in, you're done. Has exhaust fans. You can have the back panel either in a wood grain laminate or with acoustic material. And also, of course, lights. The doors can be clear or frosted. Foresight. Foresight is a benching system. It's a conference table. It's a workstation. And we'll see some interesting ways that this can configure and move in a space. Now, everything with Swiftspace is available to have caster covers and electrical systems. So here we see Foresight, single and double, with all of the privacy options of acrylic, laminate, writable laminate, acoustic. We also see storage elements above and on the side. When assembled with all of the accoutrements, the units simply move effortlessly. Again, because the casters are the heart. They're 650-pound impact-resistant casters, full swivel, steel jacketed, ball bearing, and we go beyond just the normal brake lock. We can secure it further, in some cases, 2 additional ways, so that the user cannot move the workstations. Ensemble is our latest offering. It features workstations, collaborative spaces, hospitality centers, AV centers, elements for libraries with book storage. We use the same heavy-duty casters. The shelves hold 50 pounds per shelf. And we notice here that the back panels can either be at the rear or they can be bisected. You can have a workstation on one side and a storage station on the back side, or an AV center, or marker boards. Very flexible with what you can do with the Ensemble product. Even making use of the ladders in the center by sharing that support bracketry. A clean, fresh aesthetic. Now we'll take a look at Flip. We see 2 applications, a table and perhaps a workstation or a touchdown station. But everything about Swiftspace has more than one application. So here we see the Flip in a conference room, initially set up as a touchdown station or workstation. And literally in a matter of seconds, that space is transformed into a conference table. In the next example, this customer has a challenge. They need to have a meeting twice a month for 21 people. Where are they going to have the meeting? On the right, those tables are in a walled office. On the left, that's a walled office. The only option is to rent space, buy more space, or maybe use mobile flexible furniture, because what we see happened here was the workstations moved over, the chairs were deployed theater style, 3 of the surfaces came forward and were writing elements. Now, if something is going to be mobile, you think it's flimsy. Well, not necessarily. And if you're mobile, you can clean, which are just 2 examples of what makes Swiftspace so different functionally. If you've got further questions about Swiftspace, we invite you to give us a call. If you'd like to have a demonstration of the product in your office, obviously we would welcome that. We appreciate your visit with us today. Look forward to being of service.